Hey friends, Sam Haymart for Test Driven TV. Today we're test driving the 2015 Chrysler 300C Platinum, the new top of the line. Now, when this car came out 10 years ago, it defined rolling large. It was the return of the classic American rear-wheel drive V8 powered sedan. And over the years, they've brought a lot of refinements and styling updates. And so my question today is, does rolling large still feel as good today as it did 10 years ago?
For 2015, Chrysler put the fine detail pen to the now venerable 300 sedan, polishing it up once more to keep it contemporary, fresh, and desirable in a market where most competitors have seen many design changes. The silhouette is the same bold, high-shouldered block, but new and more sculpted forms show with a bolder face which returns to the larger grille and brash presentation we first saw 10 years ago. The new face of Chrysler, they call it, incorporates the latest LED bling and flowing forms in its detail. From front to rear, the softer creases and satin finish chrome trims take on a look more upmarket, as do our Platinum Tester's 20-inch aluminum wheels. While not dramatically different, the rear views have a new tint to them which ironically conjure up themes of the 1950s while being contemporary at the same time. Inside is where Chrysler really raised the bar and brought this car into the present day of expected design, features, and quality. Gone are the acres of hard plastics, replaced with softer, high-quality materials and a more contoured design. Better yet, in our Platinum model, the dash is wrapped in soft Poltrona-Frau leather, trimmed with rich and genuine open-pore wood, and quilted leather inserts can be found in the door panels and seats. Satin finish metal trims tie them all together with a look that feels a few price points up from here. Heated and cooled front seats, heated and cooled cup holders, heated rear seats and steering wheel come here, as well as an expansive panoramic roof that adds a sense of space to the otherwise dark cabin. The chairs were infinitely comfortable front and rear, particularly for long drives. A new steering wheel design features multiple controls for audio and trip information found in the new brightly lit instrument cluster, which has a TFT center display offering multiple customizable information sets. The steering wheel, though, has a genuine aluminum trim ring in its rim that can singe your hands on hot days. The center console features one modern touch I'm not sure I'm so hot on though, which is the rotary dial shift selector. It works well, but I miss the lever to rest my hand on and its more tactile sense of engagement. Also modern and well executed is its center stack, which features just the right balance of hard controls to go along with its Uconnect touchscreen infotainment system. We've tested this system in a variety of Chrysler products, finding it's one of the best in terms of feature content as well as ease of use.
This interior is a pretty nice place to be because there aren't very many American cars you can get today that have a leather-lined dash and genuine wood. Even some of the best of them still give us acres of fake wood. So those are really nice touches, I think. And there's a lot of other little things here that I think are pretty cool. These heated and cooled cup holders here, very nice, not only for my drinks, but they help cool off that GoPro camera too when it gets a little bit too hot. There are a few things I worry about, like some of this wood and that leather-lined dash. What's it going to look like in 10 years? But that's not really a knock on Chrysler, because I've been in some old Mercedes-Benz and BMW sedans with leather and wood that looks like absolute trash after 10 years. So it's really just a matter of, if you have something nice like this, you probably just need to keep it in the garage and take good care of it.
Rear seat passengers enjoy plenty of space in this full-size sedan and have, of course, their own HVAC vents back here too. And while this is upper-end luxury, they do fold down in a 60-40 split for stowage of larger items from the trunk. And in that trunk we found plenty of space lined with top-quality materials such as the heavy carpet mat with embroidered 300C logo. Under that mat is a spare tire in a time when many competitors give you a can of sealant. Under the hood is the latest evolution of Chrysler's 5.7-liter Hemi V8. It might be based on mid-century technology, but it has modern-day brains. There's multiple displacement capability to run on 4 cylinders when power isn't so needed, and variable valve timing to give it to you when it is. With 363 horsepower and 394 pound-feet of torque delivered through a new 8-speed ZF automatic transmission, it delivers power in a modern way with better fuel economy than before, and there's a sport mode which taps up the shift response quite well.
So this engine is as modern as a pushrod V8 can get. It's got multiple displacement, stuff. And it's got variable valve timing. It's got an 8-speed automatic transmission behind it, which gives it, well, a much more modern feel than maybe it might have had in the 1950s. But what really makes it all okay, even if it's a little bit archaic, is this. Woo! Yeah, that's it. Woo! The bottom line is this V8 really makes this car something more than just an everyday sedan. It makes it, you know, something you'll want. I mean, Ford doesn't offer it anymore. Cadillac at the moment barely offers it, not in this package at least. So where else are you going to go besides Germany and Japan?
All this fun comes at a cost, however. While the EPA rates the 300C at 16 mpg city, 25 mpg highway, and 19 mpg combined, I only achieved 16 mpg during my week with it. In its defense, my right foot is likely to blame for its appetite. I just couldn't resist the urge. Chassis improvements for 2015 include a lot of detail changes for the LH platform, including new aluminum axles for less unsprung weight and electronic power steering, which offers variable assist and a lighter feel. With dual wishbone front suspension and a multi-link independent rear suspension originally derived from the Mercedes-Benz E-Class architecture a decade back, the 300C still feels fresh on the road and has a good deal of talent on windy back roads.
Now, this car is, as I said at the beginning, the definition of rolling large. And so when you're going down the boulevard, well, that's a lot of what this car is all about. Yes, it's about what it looks like when it's rolling by, but this car just has a feel and a presence to it, not only from the curb, but when you're sitting behind the wheel. It is a true and classic boulevard cruiser. And so, well, what does that mean when it comes to ride? It's actually pretty stiffly sprung in this particular trim, and I think some of that may have to do with these large 20-inch wheels. And that really is the only negative here is it tends to be a little bit rough when the pavement is less than smooth, particularly if, say, you're taking off from a stop sign on rough pavement. You can get a little bit of skitteriness in the suspension, but outside of that one thing, this thing rides exceptionally smooth and exceptionally quiet.
When it comes to safety, the 2015 Chrysler 300C has not yet been given the latest round of IIHS crash testing to include their new small offset crash test. It, however, achieved good ratings on the remainder of their testing and offers basic crash prevention systems as an option.
This car is almost sort of the marriage of two opposite worlds. Now that it's got the refinement level and sophistication of a lot of this new feature content, it's almost like if you took Harley Davidson and Starbucks and rolled them all together in one car. That's what this is. Now, if you haven't already figured it out, I'm pretty smitten with this car, so much so it goes on my I'd buy it list for 2015. I like it that much. It isn't necessarily a practical play. It's just like it's a thick piece of chocolate cake that I just love to have once in a while. That said, looking at the specs here, $45,000. This one is not entirely completely fully loaded, but pretty darn close to it. You can go a little bit higher, but I think for that price, there's a lot of lesser cars you can buy. So I'm pretty happy there. Fuel economy, not so great, but that's one of the things you get with a big V8. And if fuel economy is your bag, why, you can get the V6 with nearly 300 horsepower. It doesn't have all the V8's growl, but it has some of its prowl. Now, as we look at the stars here, the different areas where I grade the car, pretty impressed overall. The only spot not exactly perfect was the chassis, which can get a little bit rough on the rougher pavement. But overall here, I think Chrysler has curated this car quite well. And curated, I say, because really this is an American classic. It's a very old recipe, yet they've managed to keep it fresh with new materials, new features, and, well, the latest performance goods. So overall, we're at 4.5 stars for the week. Pretty good. I'm Sam Haymark for Test Driven TV. I hope you enjoyed the ride. A little secret about today's test drive is that where we're shooting today is on the grounds of what used to be the General Motors Desert Proving Ground, 5,000 acres of Mesa, Arizona. Now, this used to be a super secret place, and back when I was in college in the 1980s, a while ago, I used to come out here and hide in the bushes with my Nikon and try to get pictures of the camouflage cars, hoping I'd get maybe 50 bucks for a scoop picture from one of the car magazines. I just find it ironic that today, now that it's been sold to developers and they're building a master plan community here, I'm out here testing Chryslers on this hallowed ground. So, if you like what you just saw, click on the link right there and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's how I pay my bills. Stay tuned.